Welcome to Palmer, Alaska, Chugiak Eagle River. Chinooks will take on the Matsu Miners. We will look at some lineups here to start things off. For the Matsu Miners today, leading off will be number 9, Drake Kerr. Drake Kerr will be playing center field. He comes into today's contest hitting .260 with 9 RBIs and 25 hits. Chase Wilcox slides into the 2 spot for the Miners. He's wearing that number 27 and playing third base. He's hitting a very nice .292 on the year with 13 RBIs and 21 hits. Number 30, Kyle McCausland, is in the 3rd spot for the Miners today. He's playing right field, hitting .237 with a home run and 11 RBIs on the season. Batting cleanup for the Miners is number 29, Christian Perez. He's playing first base, hitting .250 with a home run and 13 RBIs. Dom Patrizzi, wearing number 1, playing shortstop, is in the 5 slot for the Miners today. He's got a home run, 18 RBIs, and is hitting .206. Brandon Durand is playing designated hitter, wearing number 35 and hitting .189 on the season. He's got 2 home runs and 11 RBIs. Number 26, Logan Vaughn, is playing catcher and hitting only .050 on the season. He is got 2 RBIs and 2 hits. Nick Bisaccia is wearing number 20 today for the Miners and hitting in the 8 slot. He's playing second base, and he is batting .208 with 5 RBIs and 11 hits. And rounding out the lineup for the Miners is going to be Riker Sko. He's wearing number 8 and playing left field. He's hitting .121 on the season with 4 RBIs and 7 hits. On the mound for the Miners tonight is going to be number 32, Noah Kendrick. He has 4 starts on the season with 1 win and 2 losses. He's pitched 19 innings, given up 17 hits, 7 runs, and only 4 of them earned. He's got an ERA of 1.89, very impressive for Noah Kendrick. He's out of Sam Houston University, hometown of Nederland, Texas. He comes in at 6'4", 195 pounds. And now we're going to move on to your Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks lineup tonight. Leading off for the Nooks is number 9, Oliver Degenhart. He is playing shortstop for the Chinooks. He is hitting .245 on the season with a home run and 11 RBIs. Luis Alaika playing second base in that 2nd slot tonight. He's wearing number 16 and hitting .271 on the season. He's got 5 RBIs and 23 hits on the year. Zalaika out of Gallivan College, hometown of San Jose, California. Jordan Jaffe, wearing number 12, excuse me. He's playing third base, hitting .255 on the year. And he's got 2 home runs and 11 RBIs. Hometown of Thousand Oaks, California. Plays ball for the University of Richmond. In the cleanup spot for the Chinooks is Jacob Hayes, wearing number 32, playing first base tonight. He is hitting .250 on the year. He's got 2 RBIs and 15 hits. Hometown of Anacortes, Washington. He plays ball for Azusa Pacific University. In the 5 slot for the Chinooks is number 15, Jaden Hill. He is playing center field, hitting .250 with 5 RBIs and 21 hits. Jaden Hill plays for the University of Arkansas State. He is got a hometown of Frisco, Texas. Behind the dish for the Chinooks tonight is RJ Rickabaugh. He is wearing number 17. Batting .196 on the season, 12 RBIs, and 11 hits. RJ is hitting in that 6 hole today. Batting 7th will be number 11, Peyton Neiman. He'll be playing designated hitter tonight. Although he normally is our pitcher, he is going to be designated hitting for the Chinooks tonight. He's got a batting average of 0.00, and that is because he only has 2 at-bats, and he walked on both of those at-bats. Orion Medeiros, wearing number 21, will be playing right field tonight. He is from Kailua, Hawaii, and plays for Westmont University. He's hitting 175 on the year with a home run and 6 RBIs. And rounding out your Chinooks lineup will be Brady Groves. He is wearing number 3 and playing left field. He's batting 178 with 4 RBIs and 8 hits. And on the hill for the Chinooks tonight will be number 14, Nolan Livesey. Livesey has 5 starts on the year, 3 wins and 1 loss. He's thrown 28 and 2/3 innings. He's given up 31 hits, 16 runs, all 16 of them earned. And that makes up a ERA of 5.02. Livesey comes out of Metro State University, hometown of Englewood, Colorado. He is 6'2" and 185. Let's look at some team stats here before we head to the national anthem. Some stats for the home team, the Mat-Su Miners, are going to be they have played 28 games and have scored, well, the Chinooks have played a contrary 26 games. The Miners have hit or scored 125 runs contrary to the Chinooks 78. The Miners are batting a team 208, whereas the Chinooks are hitting a little bit better there, 219 for the team on the year. On base percentage for the Miners is 325, whereas the Chinooks is 313. 5 home runs on the year for the Miners, whereas the Chinooks have only belted 4 of them. So that's going to be your quick, well, let's give you the overall team records first. We've got 15 and 13 for the Mat-Su Miners and 8 and 18 for the Chinooks, after the Miners took down the Chinooks last night at Lee Jordan Field in a close one. It's going to be a doubleheader tonight, as we will play this first one here in just moments, and the next one will be following in about 30 to 45 minutes after the completion of the first game. And that was because of a cancellation back in June. So we will be back in just a few moments after we go through the anthem and are ready to play ball. I am Clayton Jackson on the Chinooks Network, and we will be back with you in just a few moments for Chinooks Baseball.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallant our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the pitcher's mound one of our host sisters. Her family's hosting Misters Hattenbach, Hostetler, and Baltz. Please welcome Ruthie Mitchell. Ruthie, we're looking for a strike here. And now we have a special treat, ladies and gentlemen. We actually have a second first pitch. Joining us today, a member of the 2016 championship team. He was a left-handed pitcher. He also was a member of the 2010 to 2019 All-Decade team. Give it up for Calvin LeBrun. He hasn't lost it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for some Matsu Miners baseball. Coming up, just a quick explanation of the scoreboard.
Welcome back to Palmer, Alaska, here at Herman Brothers Field. We got the Chugach Eagle River Chinooks taking on the Matsu Miners here on a beautiful sunny day in Palmer. Leading things off for the Chinooks is going to be number 9, Oliver Degenhart. Degenhart comes into this one batting .245 with a home run and 11 RBIs. The opening pitch is upstairs for ball number 1. The pitcher on the mound for the Miners is Noah Kendrick. Kendrick is wearing number 32, as this one is popped high into center field and caught for out number 1. So Degenhart goes down on the flyout. So 1 down, no one on for the Chinooks, as that brings up Louis Zalaika. Zalaika comes in today's game batting .271. Got 5 RBIs and 23 hits on the year. Pitch comes from Kendrick. That one is low and in the dirt. So 1-0 now to Zalaika, who will step back in. Kendrick started 4 games on the year. He's credited with 1 win and 2 losses as the pitch comes and is slapped down the third base side, and that's going to be counted as an error, as the third baseman, Chase Wilcox, had it in his glove and just messed it up on the transfer. So that's going to be Zalaika reaching first on an error. So, nevertheless, the Chinooks have one on now with no one out. As it brings up number 12, Jordan Jaffe. Jaffe playing third base today. Looking to get things going as we have a runner on with only one out. That was going to be inside to Jaffe for ball one. Kendrick has pitched 19 innings, given up 17 hits, 7 runs, only 4 of them earned, for a total ERA of 1.89, which is very impressive. Kendrick comes out of Sam Houston University as this one is knocked foul down the right field side. Hometown of Nederland, Texas for Kendrick. Comes in at 6'4", 195. Checks over on Zalike at first. Comes set. There's the pitch, and this one is grounded up the middle, and there it is for the double play. They'll get 2 as the Miners get out of the top of the first without any damage done quickly. So the Chinooks go down on 3 batters. We're going to head to the bottom of the first where it's the Miners' turn at bat. There were no runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left on base for the Chinooks as we go to the bottom of the first inning.
Center fielder number 9, Drake.
Leading off for the Miners is Drake Kerr as we head back to Herman Brothers Field. Drake Kerr comes into this one batting .260 with 9 RBIs and 25 hits. He is wearing number 9 and playing center field tonight. He'll step in as Nolan Livesey, the pitcher for your Chinooks tonight, will kick and throw. That one will be fouled off for strike number 1. Livesey comes into this one with 5 starts, 3 wins, 1 loss. Pitched 28 2/3 innings as that pitch is low to even the count at 1-1. Livesey out of Metro State University, hometown of Englewood, Colorado. He's given up 31 hits, 16 runs, all of them earned. Big swing and a miss there from Drake Kerr to bring the count to 1-2. ERA of 5.02 for Nolan Livesey, as he is going to come set and fire. This one is fouled back right at us here in the press box, and it shook our camera. So I will get that fixed for you guys as soon as possible, as that pitch was smoked back at us here. And that one's going to be low to bring the count to even at 2-2. So Drake Kerr at the plate for the Miners. And this one's going to be dribbled softly to the third baseman, and there's another error at third base. So the Chinooks will add an error to their totals, as Jordan Jaffe couldn't complete the transfer either. So Drake Kerr will reach on an error. It's going to bring up Chase Wilcox for the Miners with 1 on and no one out. And that pitch is inside for ball number 1. Chase Wilcox comes into this one batting .292 with 13 RBIs and 21 hits. A very nice batting average for him. Livesey checks first, and the pitch comes. This one is hammered into shallow right field, center field, and that one's dropped as well. And the throw is offline, so there is a multitude of errors happening here today in Palmer. I don't know what to say. That one may have been lost in the sun, and I believe it was. It was Zalaika coming over to try and make that play.
Right fielder, number 30, Kyle.
And this one was popped high in the sky, and he just lost it in the air. But I don't know what to say about the other 2 errors at third base. But that's 3 errors already, and we're not done with the first inning. So interesting start here in Palmer. But nevertheless, runners on first and second with no out, as Kyle McCausland comes to the plate. McCausland is batting .237 with a home run and 11 RBIs. Livesey gets the sign from catcher R.J. Rickabaugh. He checks second as the runner goes. Throw from Rickabaugh is in time, and he is out of there. So Drake Kerr is caught stealing at third. So there will be a man down. So 1 out with 1 on, as Chase Wilcox took second, as he went at the same time as Kerr. But nevertheless, the Chinooks were able to get the lead runner. So there is 1 out with 1 on. So 2-0 now to Kyle McCausland, as this one is ripped foul down the first base side. Kyle McCausland steps back in. And Lizzie will come set. Check second and fires. This one is tapped foul. They're going to say he's out of there. So the ball was just tapped fair, and Rickabaugh grabbed it. McCausland thought it was fouled off, and RJ tagged him. So he is out on the really just misunderstanding. McCausland read it wrong, and he's out as a result. So 2 down now with 1 on. They'll bring up Christian Perez, the first baseman, as he sends it foul to the home team dugout. Perez will step back in. Although there has been 2 on, there has not been any contact that should have warranted a hit. And there's a big swing from Perez, as he was behind on that one. Down quickly, 0-2 now. Perez will step back in, trying to battle back in this at-bat. Livesey looks at second, and the runner will go. Rickabaugh will fire, and this one hops into center field, and the runner will go from third and will come in standing. So that is going to be another error for the Chinooks as on the base running. So it's going to be 1-0 Miners after that errant throw. This is brutal, folks. 4 errors in less than an inning of play. I'm really not sure what to say, but hopefully it does not continue as Christian Perez will strike out on that pitch. So the Chinooks get out of the inning, and there were 1 run across on no hits, 1 error, or excuse me, well, in the total inning there were 3 errors for the Chinooks, 1 error for the Miners. And there was no one left on base as we go to the top of the second where the Miners lead it 1-0, and your Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks come back to the bat. And we're back with Jacob Hayes. As I was out there trying to fix the camera for you guys after that foul ball. Jacob Hayes swings through that pitch for strike number 1. Hopefully that camera is a little bit better than it was. There's another swing from Jacob Hayes as he goes down quickly, 0-2. Hayes out of Azusa Pacific University, hometown of Anacortes, Washington. And this one is fouled back right above my head. So count stays at 0-2. Hayes came into the year batting into this game, .250. As this one is slapped slowly down the third baseline, barehanded, and still not in time. The third baseman, Chase Wilcox, was able to get the bare hand on and make the throw over there, but the speed from Jacob Hayes beat the throw out, so that's going to get down there for a hit. First of the game for either team. It's going to bring up the center fielder, Jaden Hill. Jaden Hill comes into this one also batting .250. He's got 5 RBIs and 21 hits. Pitch comes from Noah Kendrick. This one's outside for ball 1. He will step back on as Jacob Hayes takes his lead over at first. Not a huge lead. And Kendrick will come set. Pitch from Kendrick is slapped into the gap in between first and second, and that's going to be a base hit for Jaden Hill. So Hill on first and Hayes on second, as there are 2 on with nobody out here to start things out in the second inning.
Now batting catcher number 17, R.J. Rickabaugh.
R.J. Rickabaugh comes to the plate for the Chinooks. He's playing catcher tonight, and we will more than likely see Dustin Eisenagel behind the plate in Game 2 of this doubleheader. Pitch is down low for ball 1 to Rickabaugh. Infield playing fairly shallow for the Miners, with 2 on and Rickabaugh at the plate. Kendrick checks second as Rickabaugh squares up to bunt. That one is popped well foul out of play. And Rickabaugh will bring the count to even at 1-1. He steps back in. And we'll see the 1-1 pitch. Squares to bunt again. And this one's high. So 2-1 now to Rickabaugh after he was able to pull it back. So it's going to be Hill on first, Hayes on second. No outs. And the 2-1 pitch to Rickabaugh. He shows bunt once more. And that one is high and away for ball 3. So Rickabaugh ahead. Now we'll see if he shows bunt again. I didn't think so, as he more than likely able to get on with a walk here. Oh, he thought he was walking down to first on balls, but umpire says no. It is now full. 3-2. Rickabaugh will have to see another one. Kendrick checking second. That one is high and inside. So Rickabaugh will toss his bat and load the bases, as it's going to be Hayes on third, Hill on second, and Rickabaugh on third. Bases loaded with nobody out for the Chinooks here in the top of the second. The Chinooks are coming out with vengeance after the Miners were able to put one across on no hits. So the 3 errors really costed the Chinooks in the first, but they are looking to take it back, as that one bounces and is passed, and Jacob Hayes will score from third. So the score is even again, as Jacob Hayes scores from third. Rickabaugh will go to second. Hill will go to third. So 1-1 is now the score in this one. And it's that wild pitch will bring the count to 1-0 for Peyton Neiman. Peyton Neiman only has had 2 at-bats on the year. He walked in both of them, so his average is .00. That one just found the bottom of the zone for strike 1. Neiman is generally a pitcher. You have more than likely seen him come into a game in relief. That one is slapped just foul, right outside the batter's box. So 1-2 now to Peyton Neiman as he steps back in. Kendrick will get the sign from the catcher, Logan Vaughn. Kendrick comes set and kicks and deals. Big curveball strikes Neiman out, so he'll get 1 out. And it'll bring up Orion Medeiros. Orion Medeiros
Right fielder number 21. Orion
hitting
Medeiros.
175 on the season with a home run. That was back in Anchorage against the Bucks at Mulcahy Stadium. That was part of a huge 6-run first inning that propelled the Chinooks to a 10-4 win over the Bucks. The league-leading Bucks, I might add. There's the pitch from Kendricks, and it's low and in the dirt. So catcher Vaughn will come out to the mound and have a little conversation with Kendricks. He'll jog back and take his place behind the dish. Medeiros will step back into the box, and Kendrick will toe the rubber. And ready up for the 1-0 pitch to Orion Medeiros. Kendricks kicks and fires. Big swing and a miss from Medeiros brings the count to 1-1. Riccabon second with a pretty standard size lead. Hill is on third, even with the bag in foul territory. Pitch comes from Medeiros, and Medeiros swings through that one. And is behind now, 1-2. Two big swings in a row will put Medeiros on the ropes at 1-2. Kendricks comes set. And fires it in there. And there it is. Swing and a foul tip into the catcher's glove. But that is a strikeout. Second strikeout in a row for Kendrick. It's going to bring up Brady Groves. And the bottom of the order here has yet to produce with the runners in scoring position. We have only scratched across one run when we started the inning with bases loaded and no one out. Brady Groves looking to change that as he swings through pitch number 1 for strike 1. So this inning has gone single, single, walk, strikeout, strikeout. Brady Groves is looking to get back in the hit column. Pitch comes from Kendrick. And he will take that pitch for ball 1. Just high. So counts even at 1-1. And Noah Kendricks will come set. From the stretch. Kicks and fires. And there it is. In on the hands. Brady Groves will swing. So 1-2 now to Groves. Brady Groves comes into this game hitting 178 with 4 RBIs and 8 hits. He's playing left field and wearing number 3. That one is well inside on the breaking ball. So the count moves back up to even at 2-2. Another little conference on the mound.
Hey folks, thanks again for coming out this afternoon on Global Federal Credit.
Just trying to keep pitcher Noah Kendrick calm, as he is in a little bit of a precarious situation here with runners on second and third.
So head on over there, get yourself some grub.
Groves will step back in as Kendrick comes set. And here's the pitch. This one's low and gets away from him. So we are going to score. We're going to break the tie. So it's 2-1. After that pitch was in the dirt, it popped off the chest of catcher Logan Vaughn and squirted back over the top and ran all the way back to the backstop. So Jaden Hill was able to score from third, and that brought R.J. Riccabon over to third from second. So 2-1 now Chinooks. And it's full count to Brady Groves. So we scored 2 now. No RBIs as they have both come on wild pitches. This one's lined into the gap. It did not get through. It was not hit as hard as I thought it was. Came off the bat with a really nice pop, but it just kind of died after it got over the pitcher's mound. And the shortstop, Don Patrizzi, was able to get there in time and flip it over to first in time for the out. So the Chinooks will have to stop there as the Chinooks go down 3 straight after loading the bases with no outs. The Chinooks will scratch across 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base as we go to the bottom of the second, where the Miners come to the bat here in Palmer, Alaska. We're back on the Chinooks Network where Don Patrizzi leads things off for the Miners. And what I still cannot believe is how nice that pop was off the bat and just how it did not carry the way that much pop off the bat. The way it sounded should have. So that was just a disappointment at the end of that last half of the inning, because I really thought that was a nice base hit through the gap over second base, but it was not what it sounded like. I'll just say that. As Patrizzi is ahead now quickly, 2-0. Don Patrizzi will step back in. And the pitch comes from Livesey. This one is inside as the count quickly goes to 3-0, as Livesey will have to battle back in this at-bat. Patrizzi comes into this game hitting .206 with a home run and 18 RBIs. Livesey kicks and throws, and that's 4 straight pitches and 4 straight balls to Patrizzi, so he's going to trot on down to first. Brandon Duran comes to the plate for the Miners. He's the designated hitter. He has 2 home runs on the season, but is only hitting 189. That one is in there for strike number 1. Just caught that bottom right corner of the plate. Livesey looks over at first and throws that one in the dirt for ball number 1. Brandon Durand plays ball for Bryant University, hometown of Somerset, Massachusetts. And there it is from Livesey, low for ball number 2. So it's going to be Patrizzi on first with no one out. And 2-1 for Brandon Durand. Livesey checks first and throws. The runner goes, and it was tipped. So Patrizzi will have to retreat back to first base, and the count goes to 2-2. That one was just barely tipped by Durand, as you would not have been able to tell, as the big swing and a miss will punch Durand out for out number 1. So Durand goes down swinging, and that brings up Logan Vaughn. Like I was saying, that you couldn't have told that that ball was tipped, except for the fact that it just moved just a little bit off the bat, just unnaturally, but you really couldn't tell that there was any contact. And that pitch will be in there on the outside half the plate for strike number 1 to Logan Vaughn. Logan Vaughn comes into this game hitting .05 on the year. So probably not the best batting average you're going to see in the league, but he's looking to improve on that today. He'll step back in and see the 1-1 pitch, as that one missed for ball 1. Patrizzi still on first as Vaughn swings through that pitch. So 1-2 now for Logan Vaughn. Vaughn will step back in. Chinooks outfield playing standard depth to a little bit shallow. High for ball 2. Livesey looking to get the out here and try and get out of this inning without any damage. That one missed outside for ball number 1, or excuse me, ball 3, as the count goes full. There is 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. 3-2-1 to Logan Vaughn. Pitch comes from Livesey, and this one is hit. Potential double play. Get one. And there'll be two as the Chinooks are able to get out of this one on 3 batters. So we're going to go to the top of the 3rd as the Chinooks are able to retire the Miners on the double play. So there were no runs on no hits, no errors, no one left on base for the Miners. As we go to the top of the 3rd, where your Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks will be hitting. Coming to the plate for your Chinooks is number 9, Oliver Degenhart. He'll be leading things off for the Chinooks here. He will fix his gloves and step on in. Noah Kendrick comes in for his 3rd inning of work. That pitch found the zone for strike 1 on the nice curveball. So it's going to be 0-1 now to Oliver Degenhart. And this one will be slapped right at the shortstop, and that one will be easily made. For out number 1, Patrizzi to Perez for out number 1.
Batting second baseman number 16, Louis Zuleika.
Louis Zuleika comes to the plate for the Chinooks. He is 0 for 0 as he reached on an error back in the 1st. He'll step in now as there are no one on with 1 out. Pitch comes. Big curveball from Kendrick. Will miss just inside for ball 1. Kendrick comes set from the stretch. Kicks and deals. That one is right down the heart of the plate, but low for ball 2. Miners infield playing very standard. Nothing crazy going on there as this one is ripped into left field. It's going to be off the wall, and he's going to have a stand-up double. So Zuleika's in there with a stand-up double to get things going here in the top of the 3rd.
Now batting third baseman number 12, Jordan.
That double will bring up Jordan Jaffe, who is 0 for 1. He grounded into a double play back in the 1st. There's going to be a little chat on the mound between Vaughn and Kendrick, but it is done now, so we are back to baseball. Jaffe going to look to drive in Zuleika after that big hit. Kendrick will take a look back at second, keeping Zuleika close, and this one is lifted high into right center, and that one is going to be brought in by the center fielder, Drake Kerr. So Zuleika's going to have to hold at second.
Now batting first baseman number 32, Jacob
He's going to
Hayes.
bring up Jacob Hayes. Hayes is 1 for 1 with a single, which he later scored on back in the 2nd inning. He started that second inning where we had the bases loaded to lead things off. Nevertheless, now there is man on second with 2 outs. Kendrick really checking second base over there before he delivered a ball on the breaking ball. That was low. Checking second again is Kendrick before he delivers. That one just caught the inside part of the plate for strike number 1. Not a big lead from Zalaika over at second. And there's the pitch. This one is hammered by Jacob Hayes. This one is going back, and it's going to be caught by the left fielder, Riker Scow. So that'll do it. 3 straight outs for the Chinooks, and we are headed on to the bottom half of the 3rd inning as the fly out, or excuse me, that was not 3 straight outs, but it'll strand Zalaika on second as there were no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left on base as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning where the Mat-Su Miners come to the plate. We'll be back in just a moment with more Chinooks baseball.
Second baseman, number 20, Nick Bisaccia.
Leading things off for the Miners here in the bottom of the 3rd is Nick Bisaccia. Bisaccia, this will be his first plate appearance. He is coming into this one batting .208. He's got 5 RBIs on the year and 11 hits. That is strike 1 delivered from Nolan Livesey. Bisaccia from Seton Hall University, hometown of New Providence, New Jersey. 1-1 now to Bisaccia. Pitch from Livesey is ripped foul down the first base line. It is a gorgeous sunny day here in Palmer, Alaska. Not a cloud in the sky that I can see from my view here in the press box. It is about 66 degrees, full sun. That one is low for ball 2. It's a decent crowd here in Palmer. Not full capacity, that's for sure, but a very nice crowd compared to some of the past games, as it has not been good weather. But a sunny day here on a Friday afternoon brings in a decent crowd. We'll see if it gets even better in the second game as people get off work. I would guess that it will, as this is a gorgeous Alaskan night. Full count now to Bisaccia. And and Basashi was headed down to first, but umpire says no. Strike him out on that one. So Livesey gets his third strikeout of the night, and it's going to bring up Riker Scow. Riker Scow is hitting 121 on the year with 4 RBIs and 7 hits. Scow out of BYU. That one just caught the inside portion of the strike zone for strike number 1. So scores 2-1 Chinooks after a second inning where we loaded the bases with no one out. And we're able to push across 2 on some wild pitches. So quickly now, 0-2 to Scow as Livesey kicks and fires this one well outside in the opposite batter's box. Livesey will come set. Kicks and throws. Big swing and a miss from Scow. Will send him back to the dugout. So that is 2 strikeouts in a row for Nolan Livesey. And that'll bring us back to the top of the order where Drake Kerr will come to the plate. Kerr is 0 for 0 as he reached on an error back in the first. Kerr will look to see what he can do with 2 outs and no one on. He's looking to just get anything going for the Miners here in this half the inning. There's a big swing from Drake Kerr, and he was able just to tip it foul. Didn't even make it out of the circle. One and 0 to Drake Kerr. And Livesey will kick and throw. There's the bunt laid down beautifully down the third base side. Bare hand throw from Jaffe is not in time. Had to pull Jacob Hayes off the bag as that was going to be a tough throw and just a perfect bunt from Drake Kerr. Combined with his speed, that was going to be a tough one. So that is a base hit for Drake Kerr. As Chase Wilcox comes to the plate, he is 0 for 0 as well. He reached on an error as well back in the first, and that created some trouble when Kerr came in to score on the walk. Or a wild pitch, excuse me. This one is slapped foul. So it's going to be 1-1 now to Wilcox. Wilcox playing third base tonight for the Miners. Almost no lead from Kerr, and yet Livesey still throws over. Just wanted to keep him close. There's the pitch. This one is ripped foul down the third base side. Wilcox will fix his gloves before he steps back in to see the 1-2 pitch. Livesey gets the sign from catcher R.J. Rickabaugh. Rickabaugh out of the University of Richmond. Runner goes. And this one is popped. Foul. Rickabaugh coming at it. And I cannot see from my view. And there is a lot of commotion. There's some argument. I don't know what the call is, but yes, they're going to say he's out. And I wish I could see what happened. That looked like probably the most exciting play of the game, but I will never know what happened, and neither will you, because that was literally at the wall. And unfortunately, we are just going to have to be out of the know on that one. But what you do know is that one was popped up foul, and somehow Rickabaugh made the play and was able to catch it in foul territory. And it seemed to be a little controversial, but he's out of there. So that's going to do it for the third inning, as there were no runs on 1 hit, no errors, one left on base as we go to the top of the fourth, where the Chinooks take the bat. And when we come back, leading off for your Chinooks is number 15, Jaden Hill. Jaden Hill is 1 for 1 today and came in to score back in the second inning. He singled in that second inning where we loaded up the bases with no one out. Came across to score on a wild pitch. That pitch is outside for ball 1. Here to open things up in the top of the fourth. Kendrick still on the mound as this one is popped up and out of play for strike number 1.
Scooters and bicycles not being ridden in the park. Now we have an issue with skateboards, so no skateboard riding, please, during the ball game in the park. No skateboard.
Very interesting from the PA announcer. They're saying they've had issues with scooters and bikes being ridden around the park, and now they're asking for no skateboards to be ridden. This is seeming to be an issue. Very interesting. It's an interesting ballpark layout here in Palmer. They have a paved ring around the park, as this one is lifted out of play foul down the third base side. A paved ring around the ball field, and it's located on the Alaska State Fairgrounds. So it creates a unique atmosphere. Nice facilities here, but just a unique feel and a little bit hard to access. But overall, a nice ballpark. This one is grounded to the second baseman, and he'll flip it over easily to Perez for out number 1. So Jaden Hill goes down in the leadoff spot. He grounds out, and we will be back with R.J. Rickabaugh. Rickabaugh is 0 for 0. He walked in the second inning. He steps in now as Noah Kendrick will fire. This one is lifted foul and out of play. No chance for the Miners to make a play on that one. So 0-1 now to R.J. Rickabaugh. Pitch from Kendricks is outside. Slider away. 1-1 the count now to R.J. Rickabaugh. There's the pitch low for ball number 2. The Miners are wearing those same green tops with the yellow script across the front that they wore last night. Yellow cap. And another pop-up for R.J. Rickabaugh. Shortstop, Dom Peretti will call off the third baseman and make the catch. So 2 down now for the Chinooks. That's going to bring up Peyton Neiman.
DH number 11, Peyton Neiman.
Neiman is 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the second. Neiman looking to get his first hit in the ABL this year. A bit of a check swing there from Neiman, but umpire says he went. So 0-1 to Peyton Neiman. And although the pitch was high, he went around. So the 0-1 pitch from Kendrick will find the bottom of the zone for strike 2. So Neiman down quickly 0-2 with 2 outs and nobody on. Miners wearing those yellow hats with the all-white pants. As I mentioned last night when we played the Miners, the jerseys very reminiscent of the Oakland A's, as I know that was the goal when creating them. As that pitch to Peyton Neiman was high for ball number 1. The Chinooks wearing their red jerseys with the navy blue Chinooks across the front. That pitch was inside for ball 2. So Peyton Neiman battling back very well as the count is even at 2-2. Kendrick comes set and fires. Neiman will slap that one foul down the first base side. Gray pants for the Chinooks with the blue stripe down the front, or sides, excuse me. They are wearing their red hat. And the big swing from Peyton Neiman brings him to a knee, and he is out. Strikeout for Noah Kendrick will send the Chinooks packing. 1-2-3 inning as the Chinooks go down in order. We head on to the bottom of the 4th where the Miners come to the plate. In this top of the 4th inning, there were no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. And we'll be back with more Chinooks baseball in the bottom of the 4th. We're back at Herman Brothers Field here in Palmer, Alaska, where leading things off for the Miners will be Kyle McCausland. McCausland is 0 for 1 today with a ground out. Or actually, it wasn't exactly a ground out. That was one he hit it where he thought it was foul, but it was in play, and catcher R.J. Rickabaugh tagged him for the out. This one is belted into center field for the quick out. Jaden Hill able to get under it on the big fly out to center field. So McCausland goes down quickly here in the bottom of the 4th. Going to bring up Christian Perez. Christian Perez is 0 for 1 with a strikeout today. He will be looking to improve on that, as he came into today's game hitting .250. And he's hoping not to drop. Big swing and a miss for Perez brings the count to 0-1. This is a reminder that we are playing a doubleheader, which means both games will be 7 innings rather than 9. And that means that we are past the halfway point in this one, as the Chinooks lead it 2-1. 1-1 now to Christian Perez. Pitch comes from Nolan Livesey. Big swing and a miss. Will move the count to 1-2. Favor of Nolan Livesey. And did he go? Appeal to the first base or third base umpire. He says yes. And so that's going to be out number 2 as Christian Perez goes down swinging.
Now batting, your shortstop, number 1,
Dom Patrizzi up to the plate. He is 0 for 0 with a walk back in that second inning. Pitch comes from Livesey. This one is fouled hard down the right field side. Patrizzi will step back in for the 0-1 pitch. So 2 out and no one on as the Chinooks defense has been, I wouldn't say on point as we have 3 errors, but has locked it down when they needed to as we're holding a slight 2-1 lead. This one is lifted into center field near the exact same spot as Kyle McCausland hit his. And so that's going to be it for this half of the inning and for the 4th inning in total, as Patrizzi will fly out to center field and the Miners go down 1-2-3 in order. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base as we go to the top of the 5th, where your Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks come to the plate. We're back with more Chinooks baseball as Noah Kendrick still on the mound for the Miners here in the top of the 5th inning. He's only at around 56 pitches, so he has kept that pitch count very low. And Orion Medeiros, the Chinooks right fielder, will lead things off. That one is low for, or well, there's going to be an appeal. And no, yep, it is low for ball 1. He did not go, says the first base umpire. Pitch from Kendricks will be hammered. Foul down the left field side and out of play. So Orion Medeiros is 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. Looking to improve on his numbers. There's the pitch from Kendrick. Big, slow curveball is high and inside for ball 2. So 2-1 now to Orion Medeiros. This one is smacked foul behind the plate. So 2-2 now as the count goes even. Kendrick comes set from the stretch. It's outside for ball 3. So full count now to Medeiros. Orion Medeiros has worked the count full and will look to make something of it as the pitch comes. He will toss the bat and head down to first. He knew that one was a ball as soon as it left the hand.
Now batting,
I couldn't tell you where it missed, but he could, as he was very confident. It's going to bring up Brady Groves, the left fielder, as there is one on with no one out. Medeiros got a decent lead over there at first base. See if he uses it. And the bunt will be laid down. Will he run it out? No. So it'll do its job as it advances Orion Medeiros to second, as the Chinooks are just looking to scratch across another run. So there's a runner in scoring position with one out. As Brady Groves put down a nice bunt, but wasn't able to run it out. So Groves goes down, and Medeiros is on second in scoring position with one out. It's going to bring us back to the top of the Chinooks order with Oliver Degenhart. Degenhart is 0 for 2 with a flyout and a groundout. He's going to try and put the ball in play and score Medeiros. That pitch found the middle of the zone for strike number 1. So 0-1 to Degenhart. Ollie Degenhart will see the 0-1 pitch. Here it comes. It is dribbled in between the pitcher's legs. It'll advance the runner over to third, and umpire says out. Very close play at the plate, as it was a little bit of trouble handling it, but Patrizzi will make the throw in time. So 2 outs now, and Zalaika up to the plate. Louis Zalaika is 1 for 1 with a double, and he reached on an error back in the first. However, there is 2 outs, but Orion Medeiros is on third base with a dangerous hitter at the plate. This is our best chance of driving a run, as this one is popped up foul behind the plate. Brings it to 0-1. Zalaika will step back in as Medeiros is on third. Zalaika taps the plate and readies up for the pitch from Kendricks. Kendrick will come set, and from the stretch, kicks and deals. This one is ripped in near foul territory. On the line, will be hauled in for out number 3. So that one was skied, and we are done with the top of the 5th. We're going to go down to the bottom of the 5th, where the Miners take the plate. So there was no runs on no hits, no errors, 1 left on base. When we return, we'll be back with the Miners at the plate. We're back on the Chinooks Network, where Brandon Durand will lead things off for the Miners. Brandon Durand comes into this at-bat 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Pitch comes from Nolan Livesey. Big swing and a miss. So quickly, Livesey is ahead, 0-1. And there it is. Strike 2, just on the outside corner. Low for strike number 2. Really nice pitch from Livesey. And pitch outside. He could not get him to chase. So it is 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Brandon Durand. And there it is. Swing and a miss in the dirt from Brandon Durand. And so that'll punch him out for out number 1. It'll bring up Logan Vaughn. He grounded into a double play in his first at-bat. And he'll step back in for his second one. As the pitch comes from Livesey, this one is ripped at the third baseman, Jordan Jaffe, and the throw is in time over to Jacob Hayes for out number 2. So the Chinooks quickly have 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. They're holding on to a slight 2-1 lead and looking to get out of this game with the win, as they need a win badly. It's been too long since we've gotten one. Our last one was in Anchorage against the Bucks at Mulcahy Stadium. The 10-4 win was over a week ago now. That ball missed, and so does that one, to bring the count to 2-0 against Nick Bisaccia. Bisaccia is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Livesey has had a very nice outing. No earned runs, as there was 1 run across for the Miners, but they were all on error. It was on an error. Everyone reached on errors. The run came in on an error. It was not great fielding, but none of it was Livesey's fault. This one is murdered into left field. It is going back and gone. Bounced off the top of the wall, and that one will be a solo shot for Nick Bisaccia, his first of the year. That one bounced off the top of the wall in left. Left fielder Brady Groves just stand and stared. That one was a no-doubter, even though it was off the top of the wall. Everyone in the park knew that that one was gone when it leapt off the bat. So a solo shot for Nick Bisaccia will bring the score to even, 2-2. Riker Sko comes to the plate after the home run by Bisaccia. He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. And that ball will be dribbled over to third. And Jordan Jaffe will make the throw over to Hayes in time for out number 3. So the Chinooks get out of the 5th inning quickly, but not before the damage was done. A solo shot from Nick Bisaccia will bring the score to tied at 2-2. So there was 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, no one left on base, as we go to the top of the 6th inning, where the Chinooks come back to the plate. Welcome back to Palmer, Alaska, where things just keep getting hotter. Figuratively and literally. Nick Bisaccia hit a solo homer back in the bottom of the 5th to bring the count or the score to 2-2, tied, as Jordan Jaffe is at the plate. And literally it's getting hotter as the sun just keeps beating. As the day grows later and later, it gets hotter and hotter here in the land of the midnight sun. And it's only at 5 o'clock as this one is lifted foul down the third base or first base side, and that one's out. Christian Perez was able to put the squeeze on it for out number 1. So Jordan Jaffe pops out to start off the 6th inning. Jaffe is now 0 for 3 after that fly out. It'll bring up Jacob Hayes, who's 0 for 2 with a single and a flyout.
Number 32, Jacob Hayes.
Jacob Hayes will step in now, looking to get things going and try and break this tie for the Chinooks. That pitch was in there for strike 1. Hayes nearly homered last night at Lee Jordan Field. In fact, I called it a home run when it was not, in fact, a home run. It bounced off the wall, and I could not tell that it was not, in fact, gone, as the white posters in the outfield wall blend very nicely in with the ball. So, nevertheless, he had a nice stand-up double, but the home run would have potentially won the game for the Chinooks. Alas, we fell 4-3 to the Miners. That one was swung on and fouled off, and it is now 2-1, or 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike, with 1 out and no one on for the Chinooks. Pitch comes, and it will be low on the breaking ball. Looked really nice, and then broke at the last minute and just fell out of the zone. So 2-2 to Jacob Hayes now. And there's the big swing and a miss. So Jacob Hayes will go down swinging as it brings up Jaden Hill. Jaden Hill is also 1 for 2 with a ground out and a single. Hayes and Hill were the 2 that scored back in the 2nd inning of play. Hill will step in and try and do some damage with 2 out and no one on. Pitch comes from Kendrick. Looked like a nice take from Hill, but the curveball found the zone anyway. So, 0-1 to Jaden Hill. Really nice pitch there from Kendrick. Just found the spot in the zone on the outside part of the plate, as that one was well outside in the opposite batter's box for ball 1. Count is even now at 1-1. Here we'll see the 1-1 pitch now. That one is low for ball number 2. Hill has the power to put one out of here, but does not have any on the year. We will see if there is any chance that he can do that right here, as we're coming down to the end of this ball game, and the score is tied with no one out, no one on and 2 out. But this one is lifted shallow left field, and the left fielder Riker Scow will put the squeeze on it, and we are done with the top of the 6th inning. We head on to the bottom, where the Miners come back to the plate with their turn to break the tie. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base in this half of the inning. When we come back with more Chinooks baseball, we will see the Miners at the plate.
From very humble beginnings.
And it's still going to be Nolan Livesey on the bump for the Chinooks, starting things out in the bottom of the 6th inning of play. His pitch count around 65 right now. He's going to try see if he can go through all 7, as it is a 7-inning game for game 1 of the doubleheader, as will game 2. Leading things off for the Miners is number 9, Drake Kerr. Kerr is 1 for 1 with a single, and he reached on an error back in the first. He is going to step back in and see the 1-0 pitch, as that last pitch missed low for ball 1. This one is lifted over to the shortstop, Oliver Degenhart, and he's underneath it and makes the play. So Kerr goes down quickly. And it's going to be Chase Wilcox coming to the plate, and he is 0 for 1 with a flyout, and he reached on an error as well back in the first. So Kerr looking to get things started for the Miners here with no one on and 1 out. Livesey is putting together a nice game. Only blemish is that one solo shot he gave up to Nick Bisaccia last inning, as Wilcox swings through that one for strike 1. And there's another big swing from Wilcox. 2 swing and misses that Livesey's been able to put on him. Livesey has gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strikeouts up to this point. That one missed for ball number 1. Wilcox will step back in, and the pitch comes from Livesey. And there it is, swing and a miss. And he will sit down and head back to the dugout, as it'll bring up Kyle McCausland. Kyle McCausland is 0 for 2 with a flyout in that little situation he had back in the first. A little bit of confusion. And the tag came from R.J. Rickabaugh. So McCausland will come up, trying to do anything here with no one on and 2 out. This one is lifted into shallow left field, and Groves will catch it as we go to the top of the 7th inning, where it all goes down, folks. That was a quick 6th inning, and there were no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base for the Miners, as your Chinooks will have their chance to do what they can in regulation to win this thing when we come back. R.J. Rickabaugh will lead things off for the Chinooks in the top of the 7th inning, where it all goes down. Chinooks trying to pull this one out, as they need a win badly here in game 1 of this doubleheader. Noah Kendrick still on the mound. He is trying to finish this one out and go all the way. That one missed for ball 1. Pitch comes from Kendrick. This one is low as well for 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah, as Rickabaugh's ahead now. Kendrick comes set. And this one is lifted. Foul. And there it is. The squeeze is put on it by number 27, Nick Bisaccia. So, one down now.
Now batting.
As
Number 11, Peyton Neiman.
Nick Bisaccia came all the way over and made the play. There seems to be a bit of a change positionally from the Miners. This one is driven by Peyton Neiman and to shallow center field, and that one's going to be out as well. So, we are 2 down now here in the top of the 7th inning, where Ryan Medeiros comes to the plate.
Right fielder,
He's looking to
Ryan
make
Medeiros.
some magic happen with no one on and 2 out, as the Chinooks need something, or else they're going to go down to the bottom of the 7th with it all riding on the back of the pitcher. That one is low from Noah Kendrick. Ryan Medeiros will get the 1-0 pitch as this one is grounded over to second base. And he catches it off a hop, and that's going to do it. We are headed to the bottom of the 7th, where the Miners have a chance to win this thing and walk it off. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base for the Chinooks in this half of the inning. When we will come back, where it will still be Nolan Livesey on the bump, trying to send us to extra innings when we come back.
Your first baseman, number 29,
Christian Perez to lead things off for the Miners as they embark on their walk-off bid here. Christian Perez comes into this at-bat with 2 strikeouts, 0 for 2. The Chinooks are looking to get out of this one and head to extras. If you were watching last night, this feels eerily similar, doesn't it? The Chinooks were tied heading into the final inning of play and just let it slip through their fingers. We are hoping that that does not happen here today in Palmer. Livesey still on the mound for the Chinooks with a pitch count of around 72. 1 ball, 1 strike to Christian Perez. That one finds the bottom of the zone for strike 2. So 1-2 now to Christian Perez as Livesey's trying to get them out of it and bring us to an 8th inning of play. That one just missed for 2-2 to Christian Perez. Livesey gets the sign from catcher R.J. Rickabaugh. This one is hit foul to keep the count at 2-2. Nolan Livesey will come set and kick and deal. That one's low to bring the count to full. So Christian Perez working well in this count, able to battle back from down 1-2 and bring the count to full. The left-hander Livesey fires it in there, and it's low, but he didn't go. So a check swing. He didn't go, and he'll trot on down to first with a walk to start out the 7th inning. So Perez is on first with no one out. He's going to bring up Don Patrizzi, who is 0 for 1 with a flyout and a walk. Patrizzi's going to step in now as Livesey gets the sign. Rickabaugh, they're having a little discussion before Rickabaugh squats down into his position. Livesey checks first and kicks and throws. The bunt, it's popped up in the air. Oh my goodness. Livesey, there was a miscommunication between Rickabaugh and Livesey. Livesey decided to go for the catch, and it hit his wrist, and so that's going to be an error, and it's going to, what was sure to be a sure out is now going to be no outs, and runners on first and second on the error. So what should have been 1 on and 1 out is now 2 on with no one out. After that is the 4th error for the Chinooks in this game. That is unfortunate. And Patrizzi is aboard. As Brandon Duran comes up to the plate, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Patrizzi on first, Perez on second. The bunt is laid down. They'll go to first as no one was on second. That was a very potential double play, but second base was completely open. So they had to settle with 1, and they'll get Durand at first, but it's going to advance Patrizzi to second and Perez to third. So Logan Vaughn comes to the plate. He is 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts. Logan Vaughn has not helped that .05 batting average he came into the game with. And there is a conversation going on the mound with manager Tim Cole out there. So that oftentimes means a pitching change, but I'm thinking it's not going to this time. And yeah, it's not. It's just going to be a bit of a calm down effort as Livesey's going to stay out on the mound. It's going to bring Logan Vaughn up. I think manager Tim Cole knows he's not the most dangerous hitter in the lineup. So they're going to see if they can get through him, and then there'll be 2 outs and are likely to be able to get through this one. Pitch comes from Livesey. This one is grounded straight to Livesey, and there it is. 2 are down as Logan Vaughn on 1 pitch grounds out to the mound. So 2 straight ground outs will bring up Nick Bisaccia. Nick Bisaccia homered back in the 5th inning and his last at-bat. So he is 1 for 2 with a homer and a strikeout. Bisaccia, the last chance for the Miners. If he's able to put the ball in play and hit it and get a hit, this game is all but over. If not, we are headed to an 8th inning. That one was fouled off, out of play. So it's 0-1 to Nick Bisaccia. So Bisaccia has shown us what he can do, and we now know that. But there are 2 outs, and it has to be a clean base hit or an error to score the runner from third. There will be no sacrifices. And that's going to be just inside for ball 1. So it's 1-1 now to Nick Bisaccia. Thank you to everyone who has tuned in for this exciting game 1, where there is potentially going to be extra baseball. That one's high for ball 2. Nolan Livesey will toe the rubber again as Nick Bisaccia will see the 2-1 pitch. There is a base open, so a walk is potential, and there it is. There's the wild pitch, and And that's going to do it. The Miners will walk it off on a wild pitch. That is not the way you want to see it go down, and that's just unfortunate. Yeah, so that's going to be the final score, 3-2 Miners. A little bit of an anticlimactic way to end this one, but that is how it goes down. Miners 3, Chinooks 2, as Game 1 ends with the Miners on top. There were no runs, no hits, or excuse me. Yeah, no runs, or 1 run, no hits. I flip-flopped that. 1 run, no hits, no errors, and no one left on, or excuse me, there was 1 error, and there was 1 left on base. As your final score from Herman Brothers Field here in Palmer, Alaska is 3-2 Miners. Well, let's look at the total box score for starting with the Miners. There was 3 runs, 3 hits. No, 2 hits. Excuse me. 3 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and 2 left on base. For your Chinooks, it was 2 runs, 3 hits, 4 errors, and 4 left on base. The win will go to Noah Kendrick, and the loss to Nolan Livesey. There was no save. Well, actually, there was a save. That was also Noah Kendrick. As that is it from Game 1. We will be back in about 30 to 45 minutes for game number 2, where the Chinooks are looking to bounce back after a rough Game 1. And we'll see you there. As this was Clayton Jackson on the Chinooks Network, and on behalf of AIA Baseball and the Chugach Eagle River Chinooks, we will sign off for now and be back with you in about 30 minutes for Game 2.